Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Day One RV. Here we're going to talk about today the Shakedown Cruise. Is it important? Is it something we should all do? What is a Shakedown Cruise? Well, you're about to find out. Let's roll the intro and get this thing started. Welcome back, and thank you guys for subscribing, for liking the videos. Things are going well. We're having a ball with this. What we're going to talk about today is a shakedown cruise. And it sounds kind of like a strange thing to do, but it's one of these things that if you don't do it, you could end up with problems. And let me explain, because I did. I bought a camper from a dealership, and they knew already that the sides were delaminating. So I went up brand new. I went to Monaco. Monaco is the company that made Holiday Rambler. And I went to Monaco and said, I hear you guys are going to replace sides. They said yes. They took the entire side off of a 30-foot travel trailer, and they replaced the whole thing. And with that, I left it with them for about a week or so, and it took them longer than they thought. How many of you guys have been through maintenance or repairs that take a little longer? And with that, they said, it won't be ready until, and I can't remember, it was like a Thursday or Friday. And I said, okay, well, let me see. We're going on spring break. Why don't we just pack the excursion, put everything in it, and the kids, and drive down, pick it up, hook up, load up, and go down to, we hit Hiddenite, North Carolina, and then we're going to Florida. So we did. We went to Hiddenite. The kids wanted to do this pan for emeralds out of a creek and all this. And we did that, and in the morning we got up, and I took a shower. And there were 4 bunks back by the shower, and the kids were on their bunks playing games or doing something. And one of my kids said, while I'm taking a shower, to my ex, it feels like it's getting hot in the bunk. And she said, oh, it's just probably getting hot. And then a few minutes later he said, is it smoky in here because Dad's taking a shower and he, is kicking up steam? And she said, maybe. And with that, he looked out the window and saw flames going up the entire side of the camper. Not so good. Well, what he a 12-year-old kid, this is kind of a miracle. He went running for the door without telling anybody what was going on. He just said fire, and he ran to the door, grabbed the fire extinguisher, ran around, and put out the fire. What had happened is that Monaco, when they put the sides in, they disconnected the hot water, you're not supposed to say hot water heater, the water heater, and they hadn't hooked it up fully. They just fitted it in place. Well, when it kicked in and the spark went off, it caught the leaking gas on fire, which caught the underside of his bunk and burned the underside of his bunk, almost burned him up. And then it went out the side of the camper and burned the entire new side of the camper. And here I am, quite a ways from home, and on spring break with the kids, and the water heater's burned up, and the camper's all burned on the sides, and his bunk is burned underneath. That's why you do a shakedown cruise, is because there are events that happen. There are things that happen at the factories where they don't get everything perfect. So you just need to go and test everything out. Do it close to home. So what I did this time is I went and picked up the camper from people I bought it from over on the east side of Michigan, brought it to the west side of Michigan, loaded it up, did everything I wanted to do, put new steps on it. We'll see some of the mods that we did. And then I thought, okay, it's time to take it on a shakedown cruise. This time let's not go so far from home. So instead, I went up to right at the bridge because my son was getting engaged at Mackinac Island. So here's some video from Mackinac Island. We went over on Star Lines, which I'd never done before. I'd always used Shepler's and actually loved Star Lines. I went from the other side of the bridge instead of Mackinac City. And actually I enjoyed that too because it wasn't nearly as busy. Then I went to the island and I brought my drone. I videoed his proposal when he got down on his knee. It's really cute. It's what we're taking a look at right now. And he had a great time. The whole family was there. We were all hidden, came running out. And I got a chance to spend 3 or 4 days in the camper to see what was right, what was wrong. I planted it up there on a friend's property and everything worked good. Well, then I did a second Shakedown Cruise because I thought, nothing happened yet, but let's, try it again. So this time it was another son's bachelor party. I have 4 boys and a girl. And it was at Silver Lake. So we're going to run the sand dunes. And here's some video of the dunes and some of the fun things that we did there.
say the thoughts are worth a penny, and if that's true, then baby I got a couple million.
So at Silver Lake, things went beautifully. Everything went great. The camper pulled well. Loved the truck. I figured everything out. I did it all by myself. It was just phenomenal. So I learned that I needed help hitching up and unhitching because I couldn't get in with my knee situation and all the knee surgeries and knee replacements I've had. That I couldn't get into the back of the rig to pull the handle, put the pin in, and hook the safety wire up so that the automatic brake, so if it breaks away, that the trailer stops. And I couldn't do that kind of stuff myself. There was some nice people at the campground that helped me. But I went and did that, and then I came back home and found out, yeah, it worked good. So then started doing some cruises. And we'll get into those later, but I just wanted to refresh you on why you do a shakedown cruise. A shakedown cruise is critically important. We had problems, we caught on fire, I went back to Monaco, I threw a huge fit because they could have killed my whole family. We could have been a giant bomb, and we were lucky we didn't. We were lucky that my 12-year-old son grabbed the fire extinguisher and let her rip. So we were saved and things went well, but not always do they. So remember, check those kind of things out. There was one other issue that I had when I went on some of the longer cruises, and that is my rig was a 2016. It had never moved, so the tires looked brand new. But guess what? The tires were 6, possibly 7 years old, and they were dry rotted. So on the longer cruises, I lost one tire. Then I lost another tire. And I ended up replacing all of them, including the spare, because they were just all going to go. And first time it didn't do any damage, and for those of you who've had a rig before, damage comes pretty easy when you have a flat tire. And I tore up the fender on the second one. Thank goodness it didn't break anything else. But that's why you do a shakedown cruise. That's why you think about everything that goes on. That's why you check your pressure before you leave on your tires. You look at your tires to make sure everything's okay. You walk around the rig, do a final inspection, make sure doors are closed, locked, everything's good. So those are the little things that you do when you have a rig and you are taking off. So do a shakedown cruise, please. And then be careful your first couple of trips. Make sure you're hyper vigilant. Make sure you have a TPMS monitor so that you can watch your tires. If they start getting warm, if they start losing air. I had my wheel bearings packed because I'm sure that it sat there for 6 years and never once had them done. So I had my wheel bearings packed, and if you've never had a wheel bearing go, and I did on the same camper that burned up, that when you're going down the road they get really hot, start smoking, and they like weld themselves to the axle. It's not a good thing, but you can see smoke coming out. So be careful with those things. Watch what you do. Know your rig. Know what you're doing when you tow. Do a shakedown cruise. Get it together. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications of when the new videos come out. And we're going to start doing some really cool travel videos. I use Harvest Host a lot, and I love Harvest Host. And you'll be surprised. I've already been to about 12 different states. So we're going to catch up with these videos here real soon. All the different places I've been. Great places. A lot of fun. Thanks for watching. You guys remember, this is day one of the rest of your life. This is not a dress rehearsal. Get it done.